Everyone has their opinion on the perfect boat, and depending on who you ask, some will say that it's a bay boat.
Obviously, there's some situations where a bay boat is just more ideal.
But I think it's really cool that we're using the center console in an inshore fashion right now.
Today we're taking a hard look at the center console, trying to figure out why boat owners prefer a bay boat, even though it may not be the right tool to do the job.
When it comes to taking out your family and offshore fishing is at the core, that's where this is going to make total and ultimate sense.
So before you step foot on another bay boat, you might want to watch this first.
All right, guys, welcome back to Life by the Bow. If you guys are new, my name is Clay. This is my wife, Stephanie, here. But if you guys are longtime viewers, you've been keeping up with us, you probably know by now that we sold our bay boat and we're actually building 2 new boats right now. If you guys are following us on some of our short form platforms like TikTok and Instagram, you probably have already seen our new center console. But in the meantime, we're borrowing this 24 Cobia right here, which I'm actually really excited about. Reason being is because I feel like the boat market has basically forgotten about the smaller center consoles because bay boats have become so popular. So I'm really excited to test this boat out and show you guys why I think a 24-foot center console can be such a great tool for a family, fishing, whatever it may be. And I think in a lot of situations, people are using bay boats in the wrong applications. So we're just really excited to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about, and especially from the wife's perspective.
Would you say I'm the best first mate you've ever had?
Yeah. Listen, I'm a pretty smart guy.
You didn't say much, I don't know.
Well, smart people typically keep their mouths shut and keep their ears open.
I will say, when it comes to like having a bay boat versus a center console, I'm way more into the center console over a bay boat if you're gonna do what we're doing today. Like, obviously there's some situations where a bay boat is just more ideal. However, when we're going offshore, I prefer to be in a center console. Clay would beg to differ, but for me, I don't like to test the limits like he does.
The biggest difference I would say between like a bay boat and a center console is a deeper dead rise. That's where you're gonna see majority of your difference. Obviously, the deeper the dead rise, the sharper the V is, the sharper the V is, the more comfortable the boat is going to ride. So one thing you'll notice right off the bat is the boat has pretty awesome hole shot, and that's for 2 reasons. Number one, for the Seakeeper ride system, which I could go on about forever. Another reason why the boat has such great hole shot is because it has 2 engines versus 1. Essentially, we have 2 props working in the water rather than 1, so that's gonna help a lot, especially when you're offshore and you're in heavier seas, but that's obviously a preference thing, right? You know, I mean, obviously when you have 2 engines, you have 2 to maintain versus 1. Fuel economy doesn't change too much. I feel like, especially if you're an offshore guy, you're gonna want 2 engines just so you have that extra security, but what do you think?
Well, one thing you mentioned is the Seakeeper ride. What I personally like about it is the fact it takes all the guesswork on how to like work the boat, because every boat likes to be run differently with different trim settings. So the fact you don't have to do that and you just turn it on is amazing, especially when it takes some time to learn those different settings, but the boat likes to run ideal. So I always like to say it's usually a captain error, not a boat error.
It is very true.
So
with the Seakeeper ride system, it's really hard to mess it up.
yeah.
But it's just awesome to be able to get onto a boat that's just super user friendly, that basically takes very little to no experience to operate.
It's so easy, your wife can do it.
That's right. One of the biggest reasons why I love a bay boat is just because a lot of the times when I'm catching bait, it's typically pretty shallow bait spots. And a center console obviously doesn't allow you to get as shallow as a bay boat. And on a day like today, you're not really at a disadvantage when it comes to a bay boat because it's nice and calm. So this is gonna be the ultimate test right here. We have a trolling motor up on the bow, very similar to how a bay boat would have one. This boat right here drafts 18 inches, which I would say is pretty standard for a 24-foot center console. And I would say your typical 24-foot bay boat is probably gonna draft somewhere around, I'd say 14 inches. So you're really not losing that much when it comes to inshore capability, but time will only tell, right? Now, one of the biggest things that you guys will notice from a center console to a bay boat is obviously an open cockpit. You know, this is something that I really appreciate just because we do a lot of offshore fishing. Another thing is too, is if you're an older gentleman or lady, just not having a deck to step up onto is really significant. And personally, I really like live wells in the transom. So, you know, that's typically what you'll see on a center console. At the same time, it can also be a con, right? Because sometimes people like a raised casting deck that they could step up onto, get better line of sight, especially when you're inshore fishing. But I think really the biggest thing is, you know, when you're using a bay boat, it's better tailored towards inshore. And then when you're in a center console, it's better tailored towards offshore. But I think it's really cool that we're using the center console in an inshore fashion right now. And so far, we're at no disadvantage. So this is something that we're starting to see more so in center consoles right here, and this is forward seating. It makes for a really nice transition up to the bow, especially if you have kids, you know, they can sit up here and you have higher gunnels on the center console too, so you're locked inside of the boat. A lot of bay boats are starting to adopt this right here, and that's some type of forward seating option. But obviously on the center console, it's much different. You know, you don't have as much deck area up here on the bow. So like I said, if you are an inshore fisherman, you know, you're probably gonna want something that's elevated, but at the same time, you have a lot more surface area to walk around. But in this situation right here, it's working out pretty well. But obviously if we were rocking and rolling a little bit, you know, the fact that we only have this little area up here to potentially fish or throw the cast net, that can definitely be a disadvantage versus a bay boat. We're having a whole big open area right here to throw the net or fish is obviously a lot more preferred. And check that out, we got a military helicopter coming across us right here.
And with that, we want to thank all of our soldiers in the U.S. military and veterans for serving our country.
Try to stay where you're at though, don't go inside. You're perfectly fine.
Thank you, I always thought so too. Where's that big old log that I love to hit?
That big old log? We've
big
already
old,
passed it.
We passed it, so I'm fine to get
you're
close.
Good.
Close and personal.
Stop.
Oh, there they are. Get him. Big old school. And they just scattered like that was so cool watching it.
So it took a little while, but finally got some bait here. And this is something I really, really appreciate about a center console, and that's having a live well right in the transom. It's just really, really easy to access. It's at waist level. Typically in bay boats, you have to bend over to get to your live wells. So this is a huge advantage when it comes to wear and tear on your body. You're not bending down all day. All right, so bait fishing took a little bit longer than anticipated. It's about 12 o'clock right now, but what's really cool is we're actually wearing the A5 Tactical Field Watch from Vaer today, and it's really casual. I mean, this is just a watch that you can wear with absolutely everything. If you guys have been following along with us, what's really significant about the Vaer watches is how you can switch out the bands. This one actually comes with 2 bands, this band right here and a rubber band, but I just love the way that it's all blacked out, especially with what we're wearing here today. But ultimately, it's just a watch that I wear all the time that I beat up. You know, it doesn't break the bank, but at the same time, it looks really, really good. This is actually inspired off the A11 tactical watch that servicemen used to wear back in World War II. So this is about as American as it gets right here, but they're waterproof, which is something that's really significant for us, especially when we're out here wearing them on the boat. You can go to the link up there on screen, or you can also click the link down in the video description below. But we're gonna move offshore, tell you guys a little bit more about the differences between a bay boat and a center console. Hopefully we'll catch some fish, but so far so good. So far, I don't see any disadvantage based on what we did earlier this morning, being in a center console versus a bay boat. Now, when things get really skinny, I can imagine that's where the bay boat is definitely more favorable. But honestly, like, when it comes to taking out your family and offshore fishing is at the core, that's where this is gonna make total and ultimate sense. And one thing I could say right off the bat that I'm noticing just on this boat is you get enclosures. This boat has a full glass enclosure. You don't typically see that on bay boats, and that's something that's really nice when you start getting offshore. Weather starts kicking up and you just want to tuck behind the console and get out of the elements. This boat also has a windshield wiper, so that's really nice too. Not something you typically see on bay boats. And ultimately, when you have a bigger console, you have more storage, and it's better for headroom when the wife wants to get down in there and potentially go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that purchase bay boats now and they don't inshore fish. But personally, I just like the ease of a bay boat.
Yeah.
And we have bigger center consoles.
Yeah. So we have the best of both worlds, but I would say if I was looking into getting just one boat, because of what we do, what we prefer to do is go offshore.
And sandbar and cross to the Bahamas.
Like I would say I would prefer center console if it was just one boat.
Correct.
But if I like to get out in the backcountry, which a lot of people like to do, then a bay boat is where it's at.
Especially if you only like to go on calm days.
Yeah.
So we just got to the Yellowtail spot here, and not a whole lot of current, which sometimes can be problematic. If you don't have a lot of current, it really just turns these fish off. For whatever reason, they just don't like coming up off the bottom, but really no rhyme or reason to why we picked this specific spot other than there's just like a gradual drop off that you'll see on the GPS screen, and that drop off basically lines the entire chain of islands down here in the Florida Keys. So it doesn't matter where you're at, just pick a spot anywhere between 50 to 80 feet. And if you chum and the conditions are good that day, the Yellowtail eventually will come up to the boat. And what I mean by conditions, good current, and that's really it. Some days the fish bite, some days they don't. And that's really what it takes when it comes to good Yellowtail conditions. But as I mentioned, chum in the water. And then we also have a chum mixture in here between oats and chum. We left the block of chum out overnight so that way it could defrost and soak in with the oats. And then from here, we're just gonna take our hands, mix it up. Not everybody's favorite part of all of this, but basically you're just gonna go to about a baseball size and you're just gonna put it together in your hands like that. And that's really what gets these things fired up. And the weight of this ball is gonna carry all this chum down to the bottom. And so we're chumming up on top, and then we're also working the entire water column all the way down to the bottom. So basically think about it as hitting all the bases, all the different depths. Tell you what, there's a lot of yellowtail down there though.
Oh.
Stephanie's got a good one there, Stephanie.
I don't want to fight it too much.
It's tough because she's using a 20-pound leader right now. She doesn't want to put too much pressure on him.
See, he's fighting. This is the thing. You don't want to fight against a fighting fish.
That's what's awesome about the 20 to 30-pound rods. Is you can put the perfect amount of pressure on a fish for a 20-pound leader, because sometimes when a rod gets too beefy and too stiff,
No.
it's real easy to winch them and break that line.
There he is.
But that's the perfect little happy medium.
That is fun. Yeah.
I'll tell you what though, we're starting to mark a lot more on the sonar, so that's a start.
Man, but either way, like I will say, fighting it on a 20-pound, you got to be very careful to not to pop that thing off.
Good job.
Did a good job fighting it. So
Did a great job.
now that I got some little muscle movement, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's all about the attitude out here, right? You got a positive attitude, you'll get a positive outcome. Right, Clay?
That's right. I think I'm on.
You're on? Hey, at least we're getting some action.
I hope it's not a jack. Hopefully I got the yellowtail for you,
Go get
Stephanie.
it, baby. I want you to get it. Get that yellowtail.
We've been struggling, guys, to catch a keeper fish today. But that's just how it goes.
Fishing ain't easy.
Fishing is not easy.
There's some days may be good, some days may be.
This is fighting like a yellowtail right here. Is that what we got? We got ourselves a big old yellowtail,
yes!
baby.
Okay, wait. Since
Here.
we've been slow, where's the...
Here.
Hurry! Get him over here!
Get longer
Yes!
arms.
Woo!
Good job.
That's what I'm talking about right there. That's a good old yellowtail,
That's
Clay.
a big old yellowtail.
That's a good
right
one.
there.
That's a whole fried snapper right there. That's a snapper you fry.
Stephanie's excited if you couldn't tell.
Or I am hungry, one of the two.
Yeah. That's a good little yellowtail right there. Like I said, it's been tough all day, but just put the little bonita chunk inside the chum ball right there, and that was the outcome right there. Pretty cool. Well, if we get a couple more of those, we'll be doing good. So this is another big advantage of a center console, and that's having fish boxes. Most bay boats don't have that. If you're big into offshore fishing, bringing out a bunch of bait, food, drinks, things of that nature, it's really nice to have fish boxes. So that's definitely a huge plus to the center console. We could put a bait tray in this rod holder, and this just makes like a perfect work area when it comes to fishing offshore. But one thing I can say that I really like about bay boats, especially when you're offshore, you know, for example, when you're chum balling like this, dropping it over the side of the boat is a lot easier because you don't have higher gunnels. And also bay boats are a lot easier to dive out of and get in and out of whenever you're at the sandbar. Got one, baby.
Is it feeling like a yellowtail?
I think so. So
Yes.
what's significant about where we're fishing right now is the depth. Obviously, we're in 140 feet of water. And back in the day, this would have been something that was very difficult because you would have needed a lot of anchor rope in order to make something like this happen. And when it is time to pull anchor, I mean, it just takes forever to basically complete that entire process of bringing the anchor up. Now, remember when trolling motors started getting quick enough to keep up with the current offshore here, I would prefer to actually fish offshore in my bay boat because of the anchor lock feature with the trolling motor. But now Garmin has made these trolling motors so long to the point where you can mount them on a center console. So in this situation right here, where in the past I would have preferred to be fishing out of a bay boat to have a trolling motor, as you guys can see, we're getting it done just fine. I have a jack right here, so we're gonna release them.
It is fighting more like a yellowtail.
You know, as you guys can see, we're rocking and rolling a little bit here. And one thing I can say, it's really nice to be able to have gunnels to lean up against. That way you're locked in and you're not trying to find your balance all the time.
Oh, it's a yellowtail!
Got one?
Yeah, get
Nice.
it! Get it, get it!
Oh, that's a nice one. Hold on, let me net them for you.
Net them for me. Woo!
These are some nice sized ones
Yeah.
too. Good job, Stephanie.
Yay! That makes me so happy.
Persistence pays off, baby. Look at that. That's a big yellowtail for the Florida Keys right there.
You know, it's funny because when you hold him, it doesn't look as big as when I hold him.
It's because I'm just so big. That's why I make them look small.
No, he's big.
No, that's a nice yellowtail right there. We got two in the box so far. A couple more would be nice, but we're getting exactly what we came out here for. And really, when it comes to yellowtailing, it's all about just being patient. You know, when you first come out here and you drop the chum, it's gonna take a while for these fish to get comfortable and come up to the boat. And obviously downsizing the leader can help a lot. We're using 20 pound, which is definitely a thicker leader. Typically 10 or 15 is a little better, but we deal with sharks so much down here. I'd rather use a thicker line and get less bites than break them off the sharks. So obviously, since we're keeping this fish, we don't necessarily have to worry about killing him. We're not gonna cut the hook. So what's nice is a lot of the times you can just work that hook out. This is not something I would suggest whenever you're releasing a fish because it does a lot of damage to his throat. Ultimately, it's gonna kill him. But if he's hooked in the lip, you don't have to worry about it. All right, Stephanie, get us another one. Yellowtailing definitely does get messy, but when they're biting, it can be one of the best family fishing activities or one of the best fish that you could possibly fish for with your family. But the key with these chum balls is when you're making them, when you come and drop them over the side of the boat, just real nice and slow. Because if you don't do it slow, what's gonna happen is it's gonna break apart upon impact once it hits the surface of the water. So it's dropping down real nice and slow like that. And that's the key, because those bigger yellowtails, a lot of the times, they're towards the bottom. 70's got a good one, come on. 70, stop catching jacks, get us a yellowtail.
I know, I think this is a jack.
Come on.
It's a yellowtail.
Oh, nice. That's another big one. What was that?
I was flipping him in. Oh, wow. But you can
I tried to catch your yellowtail like a butterfly.
So now you can see yellowtailing is also pretty messy. It's a
This
mess.
boat is filthy right now.
Yeah.
And you see this right here, this is the downside of a center console. We have a lot more boat and a lot more freeboard to clean.
Cooking, I'm cooking. It's funny how it could be a long day and just in the snap of a finger, things just turn on. That's fishing for you. So gotta stay patient, persistent, and that goes for everything in life, right? So those who are patient, the reward will eventually come. It just might take a little longer. You may have a few more bumps in the road, but you'll get there eventually.
We didn't get here by giving up.
Absolutely not. Let me tell you, if you can fish, you can be married, because it takes a lot of patience.
Oh, you can do anything. If you can catch a fish.
Believe it or not, I wasn't even using those balls.
No?
No, no.
So you don't like my chum balls?
I like them, but I'm just,
Yeah, you want to take a bite?
yeah.
They say you have to be one with the fish. You have to learn the fish. You have to know the fish.
You have
So
to.
I think in order for you to understand yellowtail, you have to take a bite out of this chum ball right
That's
here.
good. Why don't you lead by example? Go ahead.
Well, I'm not the one fishing right now. You took my spot, so.
I'm not in your spot. I've been
Yes,
fishing
you
here
are.
all
This
day.
is my spot.
Well, I'll move. Go ahead. Take a bite. You're the one who needs
Come on,
oats.
catch another yellowtail. Show us how it's done. Here, I'll drop a chum ball right here for you. So you actually caught that fish without the chum ball, right?
I did, because you were making them.
That's true. I am still dropping them down.
Oh, look, I'm on.
Oh! All right.
Get it, Clay. Dang, what did you got there? Something big. It feels like a yellowtail.
Do we have the same fish?
Actually, maybe not.
Ooh. Cobia.
No.
Cobia.
You're
I
kidding.
got a cobia.
You're kidding.
Yeah, baby.
No way. Is it a
Yeah.
gaffer?
A cobia on the cobia.
That is so cool.
That is awesome.
Just
It's
bring
like
them.
I was talking about earlier, just like this, guys. You know, this is one of the biggest advantages of the center console, just being able to move around, go in circles. Same situation here, guys. Just not having any obstruction to climb up on top of, no raised decks. Something that's cool is Cobia actually gives you an insert that you can remove right here. So you can walk all the way up to the bow of the boat like I am right now and lean up against this bolster. Same thing, I'm locked inside of the boat.
Dang, so
I'm a
just
little
for perspective, it is really hard to catch one of those yellowtails, the bigger yellowtails on 20-pound leader.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he has right now a pretty, I would say a decent sized cobia, I'm very impressed.
That leader is so light, so we really want to be careful on them. But something I've always said, if you really focus on your knots and you tie good knots, and people will be surprised how well a 20-pound leader will hold up to a fish like this.
I can't even think about this fish. Oh, it's a yellowtail.
Get him in. Come on, flip him in, Stephanie. Nice. There we go, that's a nice one too.
It is. We're eating tonight.
That's the biggest yellowtail of the day, Stephanie.
Oh my gosh. Here, give me him.
Here, I got an idea. This is the best way to do it right here. Step back.
Oh man.
Just relax. That's a keeper cobia right there.
Wait.
No, that's a keeper. 100% a keeper.
All right.
Woo! So I wasn't sure if this was gonna be a legal cobia or not, but that is 100% a legal 36-inch cobia to the fork. Absolutely unbelievable. What do you know, man? Cobia on the cobia. 4 big yellowtails in the box. But just in case you guys have ever wondered what this boat's named after, that's it right there. One big, bad, elusive fish right there that is rare and hard to catch.
And when you least expect it, honestly.
That is it. Wow. Well, at the end of the day, I don't think it matters what you're in. It could be a kayak, skiff, bay boat, center console, a yacht. Hey, if you're in a yacht, good for you, man. That's awesome. But no, I mean, I had a lot of fun testing out this boat. I mean, I think when it comes to considering the two, whether it's a bay boat or center console, this is definitely one to consider. I mean, like I said, I really do think that it's a preference thing. You know, but I think if you're gonna do more offshore, like I've been saying, you know, I think a center console, a deep V is definitely what you want. But if you want to do more sandbar stuff and you like sticking near shore and you only like going out on calm days, like myself, that's where a bay boat's really nice to have. A little less freeboard, less to maintain, less to wash.
I feel like for a 24-foot boat, it feels a lot bigger.
It doesn't feel like a 24, right?
No, and it's very comfortable in the sense of like all the seating. Overall, the boat rode very well.
Fished very well.
It fished really well.
At no point were we at any sort of disadvantage. Deeper dead rise, the boat's not going to be able to go as shallow, but it's going to ride better offshore. Shallower dead rise, you're going to be able to draft a lot shallower. You're going to be able to do a lot more inshore fishing. Go to the sandbar, stay away from some of the bigger boats. So it's a give and take, you know, and some people just like the added security of the higher gunnels. Some people like the lower gunnels for lower maintenance, maybe getting in and out of the boat. Ultimately, there's a boat out there that suits everyone best, and at the end of the day, if I was looking for a 24-foot center console, this is definitely one to consider. Well, home sweet home, ladies and gentlemen. Pulling up to the dock right now, and typically, it can get really difficult to get in here, especially when we have a low tide since we live off of a flat here. But another thing that's really cool about running a twin engine boat is the ability to have a joystick. Now you can still use a joystick with a single engine, but in my opinion it works really, really well with the twin engine boat. What we're gonna do is activate it, and if we actually spin this joystick towards the right like this, it's gonna turn the boat on a dime for us. And say we're getting a little too close to the dock, what we could do is we could push forward, and that's going to keep us from hitting the dock there with our engines. But as you can see, we're still turning. And especially if you're just getting into boating and docking is really intimidating, this is a great way to just get you there. But as you can see now, this is probably one of the more difficult parts. If we push over just like that, we'll start doing what's called crab walking, and the engines will pivot and thrust in a manner that it'll turn the boat sideways. So this is another thing to potentially consider. As you guys can see, it doesn't get any easier than that. I'll tell you what, guys, this boat is filthy. And that just goes to show that we fished it hard. But there's nothing better than a cobia on the cobia. That's pretty cool how that worked out. So cobia can actually be really tricky to fillet. The reason why, as you can see, their flat head really makes it difficult to lay them over on their side to fillet. So actually the first thing we do when we fillet a cobia is cut off their head. Now that we have cuts on both sides, what we actually need to do now is just break his spine, and just a couple more cuts. And his head is off, just like that. We're gonna ditch that, throw that in the water. Now, as you can see, the fish will lay nice and flat on the fillet table here. So since this is a pretty big fish, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna section it out. So I'm just gonna cut through his skin just like that, come around the backbone, work my way up. It's essentially going to be our first section right there. Just like that, that's our first section. And we're going to continue to do the same exact thing all the way down the body of the fish. And they have a really big, thick backbone that you have to work around. That's where the flex in the knife really helps. Now, very similarly, how you're going to cut out the bloodline of a mahi, same exact thing with cobia. But cobia actually has really thick skin. So as you can see, we have two pieces of the fillet right here. We cut around the bloodline. And what we can actually do is take our knife, turn outward, get between the meat and the skin, and remove it just like that. Before we get up to the kitchen, We're going to continue to do that to everything else here, but I just wanted to let you guys know that we're having a Black Friday / Cyber Monday sale that starts today, and it goes all the way through December 1st. So if you guys want to get some Christmas gifts from our shop, availgear.com, we greatly appreciate it. We know it would make a great gift for anybody that's a fan of Life by the Bow. In addition to that, we're also hosting a giveaway, and that giveaway starts right now all the way up until January 1st, which is when we're going to be picking a winner. We're going to be giving away a hat and a shirt. All the information for that is going to be down in the video description below. So when you sign up for the giveaway, just remember, after that, you have 20% off all the way up until December 1st. So that way you guys can make sure to tackle Christmas early this year.
So today was pretty exciting, especially with this cobia. I mean, talk about a catch we were not expecting. But that's right, Keely. While she's eating her lovely grapes, she's gonna take a break from that and help me prepare the cobia, Keely. So it's gonna be a pretty easy recipe. I actually found it on HelloFresh, the recipe, and it is Old Bay crusted cobia recipe. Pretty simple. You just need some Old Bay seasoning, sour cream, some panko, breadcrumbs, salt and pepper, and that's pretty much it. And of course your cobia.
Well, Keely thinks it's so good. She can't just eat it off of her plate.
She's gotta go to her dad's.
She has to eat it off of Daddy's plate too. I don't blame her because, Stephanie, this is really good.
I know, I really like this recipe. It was simple, easy, and it's very tasteful.
And it's gonna be down in the video description below, but there's something to be said about cobia. I wanna say it's been probably about 4 or 5 years since we've caught a keeper cobia here on the show. And it's just kind of ironic.
Yeah, like a cobia, catching a cobia on the cobia. That was really cool.
What that tells me is the man upstairs is just working right now.
Yeah.
And
he's sending us what message more clear than that?
100%. And I think it's just so cool when things like that happen. And you guys are probably wondering why we're in a cobia center console now. But you guys will just have to stay tuned to hear a little bit more about that. Hopefully our next video, you guys will see our new boat. And we'll explain a little bit more how we've transitioned into where we're at right now. But with that being said, we really appreciate it, guys. And until the next video, we'll see you in a new boat. And who knows, maybe a new location.